Rock Guys would like to welcome Mark Slaughter. Hey, man, what's up? What's going on?
Same old thing, man. Making music and taking it across to the people.
Cool, cool. Halfway there, new album coming May 26th, EMP Label. It's also going to be available on vinyl, I was reading about and stuff like that. So, Mark, how long has it taken you to write the lyrics and everything for this new album?
This is probably about an 8-month process. From front to end. Again, it was writing, engineering, arranging, recording, and everything else. I wear a lot of hats on this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's probably front to end. That's what it is.
Right, right. Now, Reflections in the Rearview Mirror, 2015. How much different, is that last album compared to now?
I think the last record was a lot of songs, and I don't think it was really, I enjoyed doing the record, but I think it was more of a collection of songs, and this is more of it was made for vinyl. It was made in the intention of this is going to be the record, and this is going to be, the end result. So I really tried to form this one a little bit different. The other one I just kind of, I'll put this together, and I'll record it properly, I'll mix it properly, but this is how I'll do it. And this one is a little bit more of an album to me. So,
wow.
That's how I feel about it.
Cool, cool. Now, your career goes back pretty far. And, the first time I met you was at the Cat Club in New York City for a record release party or something with George Stewart.
Right.
Can you believe your career's, taken off, from them days back to now?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that it's gone that far. When you're living it and doing it, you don't think about it, and you look back and you go, "Well, that's pretty cool."
Right.
It's kind of how it seems to me. I don't, it's not like I'm like, wow. It's nice to live it. It's nice that I've had the ride that I've had. I've been very fortunate in many aspects of it, and very blessed to be able to, be on the stages with many bands that we've been, on with Kiss or Ozzy Osbourne, etc. It's been a great experience. It's been a good life thus far.
Right, right. Now, working on the Slaughter album and working on your solo stuff, is there a big difference between the both?
I think it's different on my own because, usually if you're recording, as Dana and I would do it, I would go, "Cool, what do you think?" And he'd say, "Well, yes or no," or, there's somebody else in a deciding factor. When it's yourself, you have to go, "Okay, honestly, be honest with yourself. What do you think?"
Right.
Yeah. So it's different. It's a different ball game.
Right.
I don't think it's any better or worse. It's just a different way of doing it.
Right, right. Now, looking back at the Vinnie days and stuff like that, when you see pictures of yourself, what goes through your mind?
No, it was just kind of it was a crazy thing.
Right.
One minute I'm teaching guitar, the next minute I'm out on the stage with Alice Cooper. It was the whole thing was a really different dynamic for me as a writer, as a guitar player. I shifted my whole, mindset from one thing to another.
Right.
And it was great. It was a great experience. I would have never thought that, going as heavy glam as we did, I was kind of following Vinny's lead. That was kind of his thing he wanted to do. And it was his band. And, again, I have no regrets in that side of it. It was a great experience. And, I feel very lucky to have had those experiences for sure.
Right. Now, I recently saw a video blog, I guess maybe a couple days ago, a week ago, you in the studio talking about the new album, Halfway There, and you had Tim Kelly's guitar in your hand. So naturally, I had to go post some pictures of Tim Kelly on Facebook because, he's a big part of my life.
Sure.
What goes through your mind when you look at that guitar and your feelings and stuff?
Well, I think that that guitar is just crazy because of all the guitars, that was the one that ended up coming back. Tim and I had a discussion, and Dane and I were talking about how we were going to rent a bus and how we're going to do this, and maybe we should truck it this way, maybe we should do a gear this way. And I told Tim, I said, I'm going to get a purple guitar, figure out what you're going to do.
Right.
So he runs over to the phone, calls Robin Guitar, and gets a purple guitar, and says, I got a purple guitar, because he wanted purple.
Right.
So it was kind of like this little, not a competition thing, but just kind of a little thing of that's something they really identified. That's what Tim really identified with,
right,
and what he really wanted. And so that guitar coming back to me when Rodney brought that to the show in Oregon, I popped open the case. I mean, quite honestly, I teared up.
Right.
It's it's history. It's a lot of it's an old friend.
Right.
Something I looked at on stage for many nights, many shows, many tours, and so it was a pretty emotional thing. And Rodney ended up passing the guitar back to me, and I took it to Adam Reaver. I think there's a YouTube video of it that Adam put up, and I had no idea that where Adam's shop was. I was playing in Jersey at a kind of a festival thing,
right?
And we basically go over to his office, and we're sitting there, and he goes, yeah. I go, where are we at? And he goes, like we're right over here in the New Hope area. And I go, oh my God! I said, Tim's like probably about a couple miles from here.
Right. Yeah.
So we ended up going after we fixed up Tim's guitar. We took it to Tim's grave. And that was very, very heavy, emotional. And it's kind of like one of those things of it was almost like his blessing, so to speak, to me.
Right.
Freaking go for it, dude. And that's kind of how I feel about it. And I don't take the guitar out much. I've taken it out to a few shows, but for the most part, I use it in recording, and again, it just stays real close to my heart.
Right. Now, is Supernatural the only song you use that guitar on?
No, I used it throughout the record. I use it. That's just the one that I think that really had, I really used it on that one, and I just really felt that it was just kind of the appropriate,
right?
The appropriate song. I mean, it is kind of supernatural in the way that it all came to be, and I sparsely, I have so many guitars that they're spread all over the place, and I just grab one and I'll do it for this tonality, or I'll do that one, or I'll grab that one. But
right.
When it came to leads, I always came back to that guitar with Tim.
Cool. Now, recently on the website, Loudwire, they have like the most anticipated release coming up, and halfway there was number one. You beat out like Seether, Linkin Park, Papa Roach. These other bands are highly popular, just as you. Can you believe that your album's going to be the most anticipated one coming?
Well, I think that again, it comes down to I was really amazed, and again, it's just like back in the days of MTV, when MTV said they wouldn't even play Slaughter. Ultimately, it was the fans and the people who believed in the music and what I had done.
Right.
They're the ones that make it happen. I mean, as much as I could say, oh yeah, and it's just that's the people, that's the fans that do that. That's not me.
Right.
So I that's how I feel about it. I just I think there's a lot of great talent out there, and I'm no more talented than the next guy, but I do believe that I have a certain thing to say in life, and a certain amount of songs and escapism that just like Kiss or any of these other bands do, that music does take you there. Right. And that's ultimately what we're talking about here.
Cool. Now, do you have a workout program for yourself, to keep in shape? I know I'm getting older and I'm having a hard time getting up and stuff, but you run around on stage and everything else. Is there anything special you eat or whatever?
At one point I found myself, I had gained quite a bit of weight, and I realized that part of my issue was I wasn't eating.
Right.
And I dropped dropped probably about 30, 40 pounds just by actually eating. I found that what I was doing is I'd go through the day and I go, did I eat today? And I didn't. So your body goes into starvation mode and holds on to it.
Right. Wow.
So I don't have any nutritionist or anything like that on my side of it. So
right.
I just started paying attention a little bit, and quite honestly, I got a rower and a little gym here, but for the most part, I think it's more about choices of eating through the day and eating the right things.
Right.
I had to cut out a lot of the sugary drinks, which is a common thing for me.
Cool. Now, talking about fitness, June 22nd at the Gramercy Theatre in New York with Bobby Rock. Tell me a little bit about that show. What's going to happen?
This is it's the very first show that we're embarking on. I haven't done any solo shows to this point, and I assembled a band of some of the greatest players that I know.
Right.
All these guys can stand alone in their own regard, and I think that we haven't even played together yet, but I think when we all play together, it's going to be pretty magical. Like the Invasion, I think that quite honestly, it was a pretty amazing band. I think Vinnie soloed a little bit too much, but I think that as far as the band and the vibe of it, it was something that I hold on to very dearly in my heart. That it was great players. Dana was amazing. Bobby was amazing, and I adding Jamie and Mike to the mix, I think along with my guitar efforts, which I didn't do in the Invasion, is actually going to make it that much better.
Right.
So, really looking forward to it.
Cool. Any special songs you could tell me about that you might be playing?
Well, we've been kicking around doing an Invasion song or so.
Uh-huh.
I don't know exactly how some of that stuff would be pulled off. Back in the days, we used to do all the backgrounds on a on a tape machine.
Right.
A TAC, a 4-track tape that we had with the click running all the time, and they were my background vocals, along with Vini, and just with one person, when you had 40 background vocals of yourself, is a little bit different. If you listen to those records, they were pretty solid in background. So I think it's what would work without the heavy backgrounds, without bullshitting it and running click and doing what everybody's doing nowadays. I really want to be a live band and be very honest and pure with what we do.
Cool. Can you tell me any possibilities?
Let Freedom Rock is one that Bobby and I discussed.
Uh-huh.
I really want to have this to come out with a bang and to have a lot of attitude to it.
Right. More
so than slowing down into a bunch of ballads and here's another slow one. Grab your sweetie and let's dance. It's I just really want to have it to where it's just a kick-ass concert and people will remember it as such.
Right. What would you say is one of the most memorable, events in your career? I was just talking to a guy in an interview before this. There's that when we played at Alpine Valley right after Stevie Ray Vaughan died. I mean, it was very impactful on the side that there was, maybe 30, I think it was 40,000 people at that thing. Mm-hmm.
And we were playing the whole time, and I kept looking over to my right and seeing the charge mark on the hill where Stevie Ray Vaughan's helicopter crashed.
Right. Wow.
And when it came to fly the Angels, I said, I want everybody to look over here. I said, 1 week ago, Stevie Ray Vaughan died right there. And I'd like to send this one out to Stevie Ray Vaughan. And it was one of those things that, when a crowd and people are all in the same mindset and a band and everything's just in tune, perfectly in tune with the same thing, it perpetuated itself. And the next thing you know, it was like every person who had a lighter had it up in the air. And everybody stopped and just looked around of like, wow. I mean, it was almost like a religious experience.
Wow. That's really
It was just really, is literally one of those emotional things. It was almost tearful of how what a great, the weather was perfect, and people were celebrating, and that's what rock and roll's about. It's that celebration of life, and everybody was right there in that moment, just really, celebrating life and the life of Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. Mark
Yeah.
Slaughter, halfway there, May 26th, EMP Label. Support the album, support Mark. He'll be playing in New York June 22nd at the Gramercy Theatre with some special guests, Bobby Rock. And congratulations on the new album, man.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, and thanks for all the years of friendship and all that of such.
Cool. I'll be at that show, so hopefully I'll get
Good.
to
Good.
catch you there, So you want to say?
Oh, great. Well, I look forward to it, man.
Yeah. You want to say anything to the fans out there?
To the fans, I'd just like to say thanks for all the years. We've been down an incredible road together, and it's nice that again, we're all still living. We're halfway there, and we're still doing it. And that's certainly what the song on the record is about. Is we're halfway through life, but man, we're still kicking. And it's a pretty amazing journey. And thanks for all the years. And cheers.
Thanks a lot, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you in New York then.
Okay. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right. I'll see you there. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.